Safe Space Talks, My Mastery, and I have Latoya Natavi on the line with me. Y'all know that's my right hand. So, as you see, it's us today. But you know what? We still bringing the heat. We still bringing the fire. And as we always say, um, if you identify with any of what we are saying, then we want you to get some help at your local uh, center.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're getting the help you need, and you can always reach out to us. So we're gonna start, and as you see, I put up the title today: Narcissistic Personality Disorder. And I know all of us have ran into that person. We like, they're narcissistic. They're narcissistic. But we're gonna
Right.
really break it down to you today because there's
Right.
some, not everybody is. They just may be, it may be just a behavior pattern. So what is narcissistic behavior? What is narcissistic personality disorder, which we also call NPD? It's a personality disorder associated with a mental health condition, okay, which causes people, predominantly men, but it's just more common in men, but both
Okay.
men and women can experience NPD, and these people have an unreasonable high sense of their own importance. And this is why it becomes a mental health issue, because you can't reason with them. Okay. So, I have seen NPDs in the entertainment industry,
Oh, I know
which,
you have.
I am in. And um, I know a few. So if you're watching, I'm your friend. I'm right here to help you. But pay attention to this. Pay attention to this YouTube live for me, will you? All right. So here's a word: entitled. Right? They feel entitled, and we throw that word around. And We're here to encourage you. Stop throwing words around like they entitled. This and I'm depressed, and oh, this is a narcissist. Come to Safe Space Talks, because we're gonna break things down to you for your understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they also enjoy being admired. You may have that friend that every time they get something, what they saying, oh, look what I got, look what I bought, look at this, look at that. And you're like, okay, yeah, good, great. And it has to be expensive, or, an entertainer gave me this, and, this, and when they have NPD, when they say, and it costs this much money. Like, ain't nobody asked you how much it costs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's nice, but okay. Right. So they love to be admired. Um, they only want to be around other people who are special, celebrities, or, other people admire them. So they kind of want to get up underneath them. So it just makes them feel important. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, me and Jay-Z was hanging out last night, and you're like, okay, okay, but
Mm-hmm.
and he did this and he did that. I'm telling you, this what I can only talk about my experience in entertainment. So this is what you're gonna get from me, that part, okay? Because everybody's like, matter of fact, let me share, right? Jay-Z is having something at the Brooklyn Museum. I'm excited about him. I've been to his birthday party, uh, you know. But when someone asked me, "Are you going to the Jay Z exhibit?" I said no, and they was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I'm not interested." So there probably is one person that's a little NPD situation, so they're probably mad at me. But uh, I just ain't got time to go. But Jay Z can come and help Urban Buzz magazine with some finances. Shit, he want to do that. Well, y'all ask him if you want to come see me. See what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, right? So of course, this comes from childhood, right? And environments. We talk about how you grew up in environments. For those who look at beautiful babies, children, and youth, and constantly telling them how beautiful they are, how handsome he is, and then they grow up to be adults.
Mm.
that
That
were
was.
conditioned, right? Because growing up, this is all they heard, this is all they know. There's, you spoil them, they can have anything they want. And now they have been conditioned, please hear these words we're using,
Mm-hmm.
to believe that they are special and deserve to be treated better than others. Now, although there's nothing wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with you having confidence, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with you being, a little, get your game up. You need that in business. You need that kind of confidence. You need that
Yeah.
arrogance. You need that pride. But remember what I said, it cannot be unreasonable where you can't bend or, compromise or no, that's way too, what the children saying today, Latoya, you doing way too much,
Too much.
right? Right, you're
You're doing
doing
too
way
much.
too much. And so the
Right.
problem occurs when they don't know how to treat others, right? They're not
Mm-hmm.
a team player, right? And so let me just tap in for my Christians since I was talking to my worldly people. The Bible says, keep justice and do righteousness. So people with NPD, they don't their justice situation and righteousness situation is it's a lot off, all right? But however, salvation is free to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the word says those who join themselves to the Lord should serve the Lord, right? Right. We
Mm-hmm.
we we want to quote scripture all the time, but no one is quoting the scriptures of what God is requiring of us.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Shami, that one was for you. Dr. Shami would have went off on that one,
Oh
right?
yeah, she'd have been in
Okay.
there.
So you can only do that by the way of the fruit of the spirit anyway. You can't serve God without his fruit being inside you. But one of the scriptures I love, and that's in Isaiah 55, it says, let the wicked forsake his way.
Mm-hmm.
So am I saying that people who behave evil and wickedly are evil and wicked? The Bible says the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Just saying, the unrighteous man his thoughts, right? So let that person return to the Lord, and the Lord will have mercy on him, for he will abundantly pardon. So this is salvation. That's the gift
Mm-hmm.
of salvation, that we are forgiven. Now, once you do that, once you receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, yes, we are Christians here. Now you can operate in faith towards your healing. And you
Mm-hmm.
must know your role. You have to take control of yourself. I love it. We got to give shout outs to Dr. Shami. Govern your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take
Mm-hmm.
control over you. You're responsible for you. Nobody owe you nothing. And it's not up to nobody else. Okay? It's
Right.
up to you to get your mind right. It's up. That's just the key of life. We
Mm-hmm.
be dropping jewels. You are responsible for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
nobody
all
else.
right, I don't know how you feel. Right. I don't know. You know how you can wake up and not feel good, right? You know when something's wrong with your body. It's your body. Now, unless you're a twin, because I heard sometimes twins can do that, feel each other out, or that one's hurt, so now I'm hurt. But if you're not a twin, you're pretty responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
So I say all of that because once you get all of your mind together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We are successful by the renewing of our mind, right? This is Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery. We have to renew our mind. We have to make that conscious decision. And we talk about these different personality disorders, excuse me, and what's going on with people because we want you to identify the signs in yourself and others. I'm an advocate for not just mistreating people because they're off or seem different or acting different, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in your family. We
Mm-hmm.
can't keep dismissing people. And so I know for sure NPD, narcissistic personality disorder people can easily get dismissed. Okay. I've seen it. But we don't want to do that. We want to give you the tools, the language, and the signs and symptoms so that you can aid in helping somebody. Now,
Yeah.
I was talking to my sister earlier, and I said, we've been yelling at Jezebel. We've been mad at her, and all she got is NPD, right? And nobody want to help the Jezebel. They just want to just
Need
kick
to
her
be
out the
delivered.
church and call her out. But poor Jezebel got NPD, right? No, that's a spirit, and we have to deal with that accordingly. But there are signs of NPD in that kind of characteristic. So when you're dealing with the person, right? Because we deal with the person and the spirit, right? Just know that they're dealing with narcissistic personality disorder. So I'm going to pass the mic to Latoya, and she will continue.
Nigeria, that was good. That was good. I'm telling you, man. And so here's the deal. Thank you. Good evening, good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. We just greet you and thank you for joining us here
Yes.
today. And this is a good topic because, like Nigeria said, we're often met with people in business, in our workplace. Sometimes we connect or on a romantic level or have friends who have a narcissistic type of personality, and we be wondering like, man, what's wrong with this person? Like, they're off, like
Right, right,
you can't be serious. Like, you really, you really saying that to me right now, or you really doing this, or you really making a fuss about this, or and so we deal with it all the time, and it's
right.
something that you're hearing. I hear it so much when I'm talking to patients and they're talking about their boyfriends. Everybody is a
Uh,
narcissist. And so we just felt like, come on, let's shed some light. Let's talk about, narcissism. Let's talk about NPD, and let's talk about, what it will do, how it's caused, like where does it come from? How do
right,
we develop NPD? And then let's see if we can have a discussion and try and get some people some help,
right.
because if the truth be told, everybody can show some narcissism from time to time.
Okay.
Some of us feel more important than others sometimes, right? Sometimes we can go through a season where we don't really want to show empathy, or we're being more selfish or aggressive or egotistical. Like, everybody at some point in their life will experience some of these traits, but the
Right.
problem is whenever it's severe, you
Yeah.
know and as Nigeria said, it's unreasonable.
Reasonable.
And then it begins to bleed into every area of your life. And so at work, in your relationships with your children, and so your life can be significantly impaired. You begin to lose jobs, or you'll lose relationships, or
That's good.
people will actually, I've had people who have children, and their children will get older and grown and be like, I don't want to have nothing to do with them. I
That's
don't want to
right.
talk to them.
That's right.
Because
That's
who
right.
wants to come somewhere and someone's always belittling them or putting them down, or just seem too much. I don't want to go around you if every time you're going to talk about everything, or I don't want to come around you and you're always puffing yourself up. You
Right.
always talk
Right.
about what you did, what you got, who you see. You went to Beyonce, you in the Beehive, you went to, what is that what they call it? I don't know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like now, oh man, you done seen Rihanna now. Oh, you know what? Oh, you friends with so and so,
Right.
Denzel nephew is your baby sister cousin. Like, we don't care. And who wants to come around you all the time? You can't even have
Right,
a
right.
conversation with these people sometimes before they're one-upping you. And so
Yes,
we
that's
just need
good.
to talk about it. And so NPD is a mental illness, and it affects, like I said, all areas of your life. And so, but what does it look like, right? Because we know that people with NPD can have a sense of superiority, right? The feelings of grandiosity. They are of importance, right? We know that they fantasize about power and
Yeah.
status, right? But they also have exaggerated achievements, right? Or a sense of achievement. So they always are gravitating toward achieving something and success. And it's not a bad thing. But
Right,
if it's,
right.
again, as Nigeria said, if it's unreasonable, right? They're always seeking attention and admiration. right? They are very sensitive to stress. They feel superior towards others, and then they also like to, as Nigeria had alluded to, they like to surround themselves around people who can make them feel bigger,
Right. Better.
right? And
Hmm.
so they have an inflated sense of entitlement. They
That's
are
good.
entitled, beyond what's reasonable. Like who said that you had to have the biggest? Who said you have to have the office in the corner with the panoramic view? And they'll throw a fit. No, I
Yes.
deserve it.
Yeah.
So what makes you deserve it over anybody else? You just got here, boo. You got, Susie, she done been in the office for 10 years.
Right.
You just got here, been here 10 days, and it opened up. So now you think you're entitled to it.
That's
They
good.
have a great sense of pride and accomplishments for their children and their family. Oh my God. Everything they kid do. Shundo. Everything. Everything. Everything their child does.
Right.
They want to show you pictures. Oh, he got into this. Oh, he's doing that. Stop, ma'am, please. You know.
Right.
And they have unrealistic goal settings. And so these people can be hard to converse with because they don't know how to listen. They have
Right.
a hard time with listening. They have a lack of awareness regarding others, right? They will exploit other people for personal gain. They lack empathy. They can easily perceive a person's weakness, and actually they're often drawn to those people. They have a
Yeah.
strong desire to control relationships, to control everything really, and then
Yeah.
they'll envy other people who have a higher status. So it's like this love hate relationship. They'll get
Right.
they hate this person because this person have a higher status, but because this person have a higher status, if I connect with them, then that means that I have a higher status too,
Status.
sort of
Right.
thing. And so they'll write people off. I don't want to deal with you because you don't have, or you're not in this league of people. And so when you look at that, it will make you not want to be friends with these people. But
Right.
these people have a lot of friends oftentimes,
Yes.
and they have a lot of friends not because they're nice to people, but because they're often very successful. And so they'll do things for people if it means they're gaining something.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so if these are the people at the parties, like Nigeria talked about in the entertainment industry. So they have these big elaborate parties. And so they invite all these people. They're not inviting the people because they care about people. They're inviting the people because it's showing what they had
Right.
you
Right.
know
Yeah.
and so what causes this? Is there any one particular cause that's linked to it? No, there's multiple things. But one of the things we know is it's a mixture of, hey, genes. It's a mixture of early childhood experiences and other psychological factors. And so when you think of early childhood experiences, we're oftentimes we think of trauma, or
Yeah.
we think of parenting, right? So Nigeria talked about, having children and then constantly praising them, constantly. Oh my God, you're the most beautiful kid in the world. You're so smart.
Right.
You're better than everybody else. Now I have a story.
Come on.
Just the other night, my son, my son texts me and he's like, "Can you get your daughter?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What's going on? Why are you calling me at 12:30?" And he was like, "Because, we were having a conversation and she just went off and was saying that, she's 15 and 15 she's done better than me, and when she gets 18 she gonna do better than me because she's the best in the family." And I'm just like, oh my God. So first of all, I'm like, listen, you 18, why are you arguing with a 15-year-old? you know
Right.
let's get that
Start there.
out the way. And then so I call her and she's like, well, it's true. So my husband's like, well, you did it. I was like,
It's
what do you
your
mean?
fault.
You did it. You've always told her to be the best. You've always told her, you always praise her, you always talk about how smart she is, you always talk about how beautiful she is, you always talk about, you did it. You
Right.
created the monster. And I was like, yo,
Right.
this is how it's done.
That's
This is
it.
it, right? And so you have those parents that's constantly praising a kid. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with praising a kid, but you have to train your children to be respectful of others, to be caring.
That's
You
it.
know, you have when you're around parents and you see that parent, that kid does not want to share, it's the making of a narcissist.
Yeah.
You're around parents, and that parent doesn't want to correct that child, then the child and bop the other kid in the head.
Oh,
You take little Johnny and get his tail. You know he
right.
wrong. But
Right.
but but you'll try to talk about why Becky. Well, were you really close? You know, what did you do to him?
Right.
Okay. But you see this. And so these are this the making of a narcissist. You know, you have a situation where your kids are growing up and you're constantly telling them, be the best. You got to do, you're
Right.
creating that environment of competition.
Right.
And
Right.
you are having these expectations of these children to perform, perform, perform. You're creating a narcissist. I didn't realize that I was creating a narcissist.
We so transparent. This
I'm
is why we're
telling
here to
you.
help you
And
because
it
we already
came,
been through it.
what it came to me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I'm doing. I have to. But hey, I'll get mine. Trust and
Yeah.
believe. You're
Yeah.
not gonna be talking to your brother in any kind of way. And
Right.
so I
Right.
got on to her and I
Right.
told her, you've got to stop it. Stop
Right.
comparing yourself. Stop making people feel less than you
Left. Yeah.
because of your talents and your abilities. And so we went through this whole thing, but it was just fitting for today because this is
Right.
what we're
Right.
talking about.
Yeah.
And so another thing is environments of trauma. So parents can do it, right? Parents can be overbearing, they can be overprotective, right? Overprotective parents, parents who don't have limitations on their children, don't set boundaries, let their kids do anything and everything. So all you parents that are listening to me that don't discipline your children or constantly make excuses for your children, you're creating a monster, and somebody's going to have to be with that person. Somebody's
That's
going to have
it.
to work with that person. They're not always going to be 8 years old. They're going to grow up and be 18 and 20, and not everybody's going to put up with that mess. You doing it because you think your kid is cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
In society, people are not going to put up with that kind of stuff. So pivot, start making some
I love
adjustments.
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
And then
Yeah.
the other thing is that the trauma, right? So when we go through different trauma, when we experience trauma, we have defenses that we will gravitate toward. So we'll adopt. So they call it the four Fs. So we'll adopt fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so, depending on which one is your flavor, right? Which one you kind of gravitate to the most, you may develop a certain type of personality trait. And so, the fight defense is linked to narcissism, right? And
Okay.
so these defenses are designed to, in a sense, help us to protect us while we're going through these traumas and to prevent us from going through another trauma. And so you say to yourself,
Right.
I'll never go through that again. I'm going to fight. Nobody will ever talk to me like that again. I'm going to
Right.
perform. I'm never going to be looked down again. No, I'm never going to be small again. And so
Right.
they'll
Right.
develop that fight type or that narcissistic type. And they believe that power and control is linked to safety. So that's how they feel safe
Yeah.
and secure. And so this goes back to what Nigeria was saying, is that when we see these people, we want to kind of write them off and don't want
Right.
to deal with them. But oftentimes it's a reason and it's a root why they're behaving the way they're behaving. They feel safe and secure with their power and their control. And that's why if they're in a relationship with someone who has something that they don't have and makes them feel vulnerable, they'll act all the way out. They'll
Ah.
become big. They'll
Right.
do things just go off the hinges because they feel small, and they never want to feel small. They
Yeah.
never want to feel embarrassed. They never want to feel inadequate. And so whatever you do, they're going to top it. And they're going to
Right.
go all the way out there to the right or to the left, and then and can get themselves in trouble. But it's a defensive mechanism that they
Right.
have adapted or adopted to when they were going through certain traumas in their childhood. And
Right.
so now we can get a better understanding of what these people have went through, what they're going through. And so we can show more grace, and we can try and foster an environment for healing for some of these people, and then bring awareness to it, because you already know they don't know. They have
Right.
no sense of
Idea.
awareness. They love being with people in relationships where they can gaslight people. Everything is somebody else's fault. They know how to twist your words. They twist everything. So you got to be kind of clever when it comes to dealing with these people. And
Right.
so I'm going to hand it back over to Nigeria, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about treatments.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you were saying, especially gaslighting. That is a narcissistic number one behavior of them all. And I'm amazed at how they just come up with these words,
Right? Where'd they come from?
gaslighting and stuff
I
like what? But again, from childhood, also, we talked about the praise, but also those who've been abused. Like she was talking about the fight, flight, and they if a child has been abused, like Latoya was saying, they're saying, I'm never gonna go through that again. No one's gonna be freaking hitting on me, and they
mm-hmm.
get this protective shield,
Right.
or they have been abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
That for whatever reason they felt abandoned, and so now it's like, I'm never going to be abandoned again. And so as they get older, and we're talking about narcissistic personality disorders, which is a medical condition, and then the DSM-5, then they grow up to be the domestic violence people, right? You
Mm.
trying to leave me? Why are you trying to leave me, right? It's
Yes.
that person, okay?
Yeah.
Pay attention. It's that person that's then becomes abusive,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they were abused. Now they're going to abuse others.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah.
have to understand is that, these people get fixed
Mm-hmm.
into a state of mind
Yeah.
that is uncomprehensible. That's the word to us, because
Mm-hmm.
that's such a fixed state in their mind. That's why, again, as we said, you have to renew your mind. It has
Mm-hmm.
to be renewed, because this person is stuck in a mindset that is unable to help them to make good judgment calls or good decisions. These people who deal with narcissistic personality disorders are also the ones who are part of the pyramid schemes and scammers. And people, nah, the thing is the thing. These people, they have that because they're always trying to achieve. And as we were saying, get one up. They're the ones who are the get quick rich people. You're not getting rich quick unless you hit lotto or you came into inheritance. To work to get rich quick, that there's no
Mm-hmm.
quickness about that. Okay. So they're the ones who's, hey, listen, call 1-800 at Get Rich Quick and come see me, and I can make you six figures in 3 months,
Right.
And you're like, ooh, yeah. And then you going throwing your money to these people, and then you wondering why
Hmm.
I'm broke.
You
Okay.
buying all kind of teas.
Okay. Stop it. Stop. So, you know, these are the personalities we want you to pay attention to. Again,
Yes.
it doesn't necessarily mean that that person has NPD, because last week we talked about toxic behaviors. Now, toxic
Mm-hmm.
behaviors is not a mental condition. It's just a behavior, a
Mm-hmm.
pattern that someone got themselves into that they just constantly repeat. That
Mm-hmm.
individual, through some conversation, will change their pattern. Unlike someone with a personality with NPD, they're not compromising. Okay, it's my
Yeah.
way or the highway. They're the little
Mm-hmm.
kid that was at the park you was talking about, young, who they started losing the game and it was their ball and they grabbed their ball and was like, well, I'm not
I'm
playing no
out.
more because I'm not winning, my
Right.
team not winning, and that's that, and snatch their
Mm-hmm.
ball and walk out the park, and you're like, really, we just
Yeah.
was playing, I thought we was having
Mm-mm.
fun. They don't understand what that is. Okay,
No.
so it's not always that's the issue. Again, it is good. We want to remind you, it's good to have confidence. It's good to be praised. We all need to have some validation, good
Mm-hmm.
job, well done. But when you are unable to, bend in that area, then that's when you have NPD. NPD. So for those who are watching and like, I knew he was like that, or I knew she was like that, have a conversation. See, the only way you're going to be able to tell someone who has NPD is when you're talking to them and there's no relent. Okay, they're just not. There's no evidence. That's one of my other words. There's no evidence of change. There's no evidence that they're even willing or conscious about their behavior. And so someone like that also, they pry on people who have low self-esteem because they are, again, as Latoya said, you find these people in high level leadership positions, right? Because they can climb this ladder, honey, because they don't care about nobody. They will kick you in your
They're
head
gonna
down the
stomp on you
ladder,
all the way up to the
and,
top.
right, and keep it moving. They have no empathy. They don't care. They don't care about you, right?
Nope. Don't
Michael
care about how
Jackson
many
was
kids you
trying
have,
to
you trying
tell
to
us
feed.
they don't care about us. Okay. Michael Jackson sung the song. They don't care about
They
us.
don't care.
And, that's my dude. I miss you, Michael Jackson. But, they don't care. So like I said, they're part of pyramid schemes. They're the get rich quick. They're the no
Dictators.
relentant. Right. They're kind of like, oh, this person seems soft, so I'm going to attack. Okay. So in relationships where you're so vulnerable and oh my God, and needy, and you run into somebody who is dealing, who has a narcissistic personality disorder, that is going to be the worst relationship of your whole entire life.
Whole
I
life.
mean, your whole entire life, you're going to be mad.
Whole
And
life.
you got to just be mad at yourself. But this is what you gotta look for. That person who doesn't bend, compromise. Oh, I said it in the toxic behavior segment. They're the ones who always say, "Calm down. It's not that serious. You
You're too emotional.
overreacted. Right? You're too emotional.
You're too
Why are you
everything.
Right, right, right. Why are you acting like that? And then you're looking at them side eye like, no, because you just did A, B, and C. Now I'm all off, and now you all calm down.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
Yeah.
That's somebody. That's a warning sign. That one's for free. I'll give you that one for free. That's a warning sign that you're dealing.
But Nigeria, when we first meet these people, and I'm talking about in relationship, because
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's some people that need to be helped when it comes to relationships.
Come on, let's help
When
them.
we first meet these people, they're not behaving this way.
Right.
They are putting this because they're very manipulative.
I was getting to that. Yeah, please
baby.
tell them.
I mean, the best behavior. They opening up your door. They telling you all the sweet nothings, whispering in your ear. Oh, baby, they know how to tickle every fancy that you have. They know how to, oh, let me feed you. Let me anything. See, and they listen to you. And that's why you don't need to talk too much when you first start dating people, because they're recording everything what
You like
Ray didn't do, right? What Jody didn't do, they taking notes. And so everything they didn't do, oh, they're going to do.
You better believe it.
And baby, and they gonna do it, and you're gonna be like, oh my God,
This is the
girl,
best
let me tell
person
you
ever.
about baby. Until they get you.
Till
right
they get
they won't.
And that's why we was talking about domestic violence, because that's where it's going to eventually lead to, That's
Then
why
they not opening up the door. They leaving you in the car and dare you to get out. They might slam the door on you. I mean, they baby, trust.
Yeah.
They're not going to behave. So you've got to listen to people and start asking yourself, look at the people who they're around. Look at the dynamics
they don't
between them and
normally
their
have
mothers.
too many friends too. So, you got to monitor that when people, they're good at isolating. So they're the ones who want to isolate you. It's all about me and you, we don't need your mother don't need to be over here, and your father don't need to be in our business, and you're like, no, I've been talking to my parents all my life. I'm going to tell them what's happening, and they're like, no, you don't need, you definitely got to watch that.
Oh yes, they will try to isolate you from everybody because they don't need They don't need anybody in your ear helping you because they
Right.
want you to rely on them for
Right.
everything. They want to control every aspect of your life. And so slowly but surely you'll start to see people just kind of wash their hands with you and just kind of leave, you
Right.
know,
That
because no
ghosting.
because everybody else can see it but you oftentimes.
Right.
Your
Right.
sister can recognize it. You've changed since you've been with him. You know,
Hmm.
or why does he always have to be there? Why can we can't just we used to go to brunch every Saturday. Now he got to come every time.
I'm telling you.
Those kinds of
Tell him,
things.
Latoya. Tell
That's
him.
how it be. And then you be like, but he just want to be under me. Like he just love
Ah,
me.
like that's
He just want to spend time with me. He just loves me.
right.
Girl, boo. No.
Girl,
You better run. Run before it gets bad,
right, right.
before you
And
gotta
even if
hide.
it gets bad, I'm telling you, even if it gets bad, leave.
You better go.
Leave. Leave. If
Go.
you see the signs, leave. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're only gonna, they get more pumped
It's only
up
gonna
and
get worse.
more, right. This behavior, this pattern of behavior, this personality trait, as I said in the Bible, the wicked turn
Mm-hmm.
away from the leave their ways, right? The wicked. That's a wicked
Yeah.
spirit. That is
Yeah.
somebody you need to, it's in the natural wicked and it's in the spiritual wicked.
Right. Yeah.
They are an unrighteous being in the natural, and they are an unrighteous being in the spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you need to
this
get far
this,
from them.
yeah, this personality is something, like I said, needs to be dealt with on both levels, like Jezebel. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's the perfect example, because it could be male female. Jezebel could be male female.
Mm-hmm.
NPD could be male female.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, and you have to be mindful. These people, again, are very manipulative. They are like, like I said, scams. They'll do whatever they can to get
Mm-hmm.
you under their thumb. Now, what's so amazing about this grandiose personality, that when they get by themselves, they're isolated, they feel shame, they feel
Mm-hmm.
guilt, they feel depressed. And so on the outside, they seem like woo, but when they get by themselves, they suffering. This is why it's a medical issue.
Mm-hmm.
They're suffering all the other signs: anxiety, depression, paranoid. They're dealing with that in their oh, I love the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, in their inward parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
go ahead,
right.
Latoya.
Yeah. And so the personality in itself, there's no medication that's going to treat a personality. It's not. Um, but like Nigeria is saying, there's often other conditions that are attached to it. And so you can use medications to treat anxiety and depression, but it's not going to treat the personality. So you have to find a good therapist. And by the way, we're not diagnosing anyone. If you feel that you meet some of this criteria, definitely, as Najir said in the beginning, contact your local doctors. If you feel suicidal or anything like that, you can call the suicide hotline. You can go to the local emergency room. And if you're feeling like this, then set up an appointment. There's psychology today. There's other tools you can use to put your zip code in and find somebody that can assess you and see. Or if you're married to somebody, go to therapy, go to counseling. But it's going to take multiple treatments to modalities to be able to treat this. So a person might have to be on a medication for the anxiety or the depression, but mainly therapy. You're going to have to do therapy. You're going to have to go through an extensive, because this is a whole personality that you
Right,
have
that was
been
conditioned.
developing
Right.
from probably birth. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like your mom and dad has been in your life, have been training you up. And so you are wired like this. And so you've got to create a whole different framework. And that's going to be with intensive psychodynamic therapy or cognitive behavior therapy. You may have to do some family therapy because, you know, you have to learn how to be a family, right? You got to learn
Right.
your roles, you
That's
got to learn your
good. That's
duties, you got to learn
good.
how to interact, you got to learn. So you've got to really and truly have a multifaceted approach to this, and understand that it's okay. You
Yeah.
know, like this is not, we're not saying this to beat you up about it. In fact, we're presenting this because we feel for people who suffer from MPD, because we
Yeah.
understand, you know, we just did a whole segment on arrested development. I can't wait for
Right.
that to come out, right? So
Right.
we are kind of in this like trauma vein, and so we feel for people who have this narcissistic personality disorder because they're struggling. Do you know the amount of energy it takes to keep up with this? You know, like, you know, the ingenuity that you have to constantly have to be able to scale, and then that's all you think, and it's never enough, and you got to go higher, and it's never enough, and this achievement is never enough, and then you're burning all your bridges and you're mistreating people, and so, um, you know, we understand. And
Right.
this is why we've presented this information, not because we want to illuminate everything that's negative in your life, but we want to
Right.
shed light on it so that you can get help, or you can get your loved ones help, and
That's
you
good.
can do what you need to do to not develop and not cause or not form or create a narcissist as
Right.
parents. And so watch your behavior too. And so we thank you for joining us. We're going to be touching on a lot of different subjects that
Yeah.
you may not have heard before, because we really want you to be whole. We want our communities to be healed. And we just
Yes.
really want to be able to talk about the things that other people are not talking about. And so thank you for tuning in. And we will be in a city near you pretty soon with
That's
our
right.
tour.
We're gonna be in Virginia. Go ahead and tell
Yes,
you know what
yes.
we're
Yeah, so
gonna be
we're
in
going to
Virginia
be in
November
Virginia.
4th. So if you're
Yeah.
watching and you're in Virginia, reach out to us, connect with us at safespacetalks@gmail.com. Say where y'all gonna be at. Harlem was off the chain.
It was
It's only gonna
so
get better
lovely.
and betterer.
Yeah.
I love saying that. And so, please join the movement. We're going to be doing a lot of great things. So we want you to get involved with us. If you like what we're doing, please share, subscribe, like. Again, it may not be you, but we can share all kinds of things on our timeline
Yeah.
that's, you know, reflecting what we talk about here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of sharing more negative, share
Right.
safe space talks. It ain't gonna hurt you,
Won't
and
cost
it
you a
doesn't
thing.
necessarily mean any of your friends gonna follow us. Half of them are bots, but okay, because people don't want to share something like, "Oh, my friends gonna follow." But ain't nobody. It's a million people, 8 million people in the world. Like,
Not say half of them bots.
just saying, because if that's not true, why at concerts? I'm in entertainment. Why are people having to cancel their concerts because they couldn't sell all the tickets they thought they could sell? Because y'all keep looking at them bots numbers and thinking that you if you do a concert or something, you're gonna get all these many people. Everybody can't be like Beyonce and Jay-Z. We love y'all. Y'all come over here too and help us spread some. Where's the entertainers that want to help people spread positive stuff? Keep watching
Mm-hmm.
and see who shows up. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to ask them. So I just want you to be aware that I will ask them, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't take the negativity. So I'm just saying that's why we doing what we doing. Just stop these behaviors, these toxic behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Get some help for your narcissistic personality disorder. Get help for PTSD. We are your trauma cheerleaders.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
And
good.
we want you to get the help that's going to make you have I tell people, when you get on this side, child, Life is good.
Yes, it
Life
really
is
is.
good. You can have a happy marriage. You can have good friends. I have tons of friends. I love them
Mhm.
all, and they love me. And ooh, kumbaya, and ooh, hugs and kisses all the time. Wakanda forever. Just that. So listen, join the movement. Safe space talks. Start. Make that trend.
Yeah.
Hey, you have the power to help make us great.
Mm.
You just share, just like and click. You have the power. Let's see some black and brown faces on this. Okay. Listen,
I
we
love
love
it.
us some y'all. We'll see you next week. Make sure you share and like. We love you. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Okay.